People who use drugs, our community, are most directly impacted by the current international drug control system and prohibitionist policies. This system has been historically deployed to gather political capital based on moralist positions without any consideration for the individuals or communities. Due to prohibition, our lives are overshadowed by the fear of harassment, arrest, incarceration, stigma which leads to a wide array of discriminatory practices, and more often than anyone might think, death. In the following short film, you will meet a group of people whose lives and communities have been heavily impacted by prohibition and the war on drugs. Rarely are these voices taken into account in high-level decision-making process, but we believe this is of paramount importance to shed a guiding light to enable a human rights approach in reshaping current drug policies.
Di awal tahun 2015, Presiden Indonesia Joko Widodo mendeklarasikan bahwa Indonesia dalam keadaan darurat narkoba dan menyatakan perang terhadap narkoba. Pada prakteknya, pendekatan punitif ini telah berakibat pada meningkatnya razia dan penahanan yang dilakukan oleh penegak hukum, kebijakan wajib rehabilitasi, dan hukuman mati untuk pengedar narkoba. Organisasi berbasis komunitas, aktivis, dan jaringan pengguna nafza seperti PKNI menentang keras perang terhadap narkoba ini. Hal yang sama sekali tidak efektif, berbahaya, dan menghabiskan dana negara dalam jumlah yang sangat besar.
Siapa yang mau suaminya dipenjara sehingga anak-anaknya terlantar tidak diberi makan? Yang tidak mau angkat tangan kirinya semua. Yang mau menghentikan pemenjaraan, angkat tangan kiri. Teriakan mereka.
I'm a drug user. I've been like that for the last 25 years or so. But I should say, for me, all this time is associated with a fear, constant fear that I also go to a jail just because I use drugs, just because I like drugs. We, people who use drugs, also struggle a lot with stigma and discrimination, fueled with your decisions, with your recommendations, resolutions, treaties. We are discriminated and stigmatized all the time in all parts of the world, and this is wrong. Drug-free world, targets like this is something the world will never achieve, and you should know this by now. Therefore, the only reasonable thing you can do is, instead of sticking to existing policies, is to produce a change to end war on people.
პირველ ნარკოტიკების მომხმარებელთა სათემო ორგანიზაციას საქართველოში ახალ ვექტორს. სამწუხაროდ უნდა აღვნიშნო, რომ ჩვენი ქვეყნის დამოუკიდებლობის ისტორიაში ვერცერთი ხელისუფლება ვერ შეელია ძალადობრივ მანქანას, რომელიც რეპრესიული ნარკოპოლიტიკის სახით საკუთარი მოქალაქეების წინააღმდეგ იქნა გამოყენებული. რეპრესიული ნარკოპოლიტიკის ფარგლებში ათასობით ადამიანს მოუსპეს ნორმალურად თანაარსებობის საშუალება. ათასობით ოჯახი გააუბედურეს. დღემდე ათასობით ადამიანი საპატიმრო დაწესებულებებში იხდის სასჯელს. მე მოგმართავთ თხოვნით ძვირფასო საზოგადოებავ, რომ ხარი დაუჭიროთ ზიანის შემცირების პროგრამებს, სასიცოცხლო მნიშვნელობის ჯანდაცვის პროგრამებს და ზეგავლენა მოახდინოთ რეპრესიულ ნარკოპოლიტიკაზე, რომელიც კლავს ჩვენი განვითარების საშუალებას, გვართმევს ჯანმრთელობას და ყველაზე ფასეულ სიცოცხლეს.
And I live in a country where possessing 2 pills of ecstasy is way more punishable than organizing a terrorist group or even creating a weapon of mass destruction.
In this country, it's not easy to be young itself, and after tiring week of working and studying, gone to the club, I might get checked anywhere in the street, even nearby the club entrance, by the police who is stalking random ravers.
Признайте, лишение свободы не лечит наркоманию.
I'm a person who identifies as both a person in long-term recovery and also a person who uses drugs. I often get asked how that's possible, and I think it's even more important today for me to talk to you not about how that's possible, but how the policies that we have here in the United States of criminalization and mass incarceration have really fueled what has now become the largest prison slave industrial complex in the world. I myself have spent time in prison for drugs. And I can attest that in prison, prisoners do not make a living wage. We have the most slaves that we've ever had in the history of the world, 2.2 million. And we need to demand to end slavery now.
Гоняйте нас в подполье. Мир вместо войны с наркотиками.
Despite huge effort and money, the number of drug users in the country increases from year to year, and our government does nothing except the persecution of these people.
Z vlastní zkušenosti vím, jaké stigma si uživatel drog přináší do života. Toto stigma podpořené celkovým systémem je přímým protikladem jeho cílů. Zatímco užívání alkoholu je oficiálně podporováno, uživatelé ostatních drog jsou téměř postaveni mimo zákon. Začneme tématem drog přemýšlet racionálně a přijmeme skutečnost, že užívání drog je do jisté míry přirozené. Represe spíše napomáhá bujení černému trhu, než aby tento problém řešila. Pojďme i ve vývoji drogové politiky udělat konečně krok vpřed. Vybočme ze stínu pokrytecké minulosti.
Le monde a vraiment besoin du nouveau comportement et approche d'intervention par rapport des consommateurs de drogue. Les attitudes actuelles incitent à la mort, à la destruction, de la violation de nos droits humains. Nous disons, laissez-les mourir, ils sont toxicomanes. Une attitude amorale. On a empêché d'accès à la naloxone, ceci constitue une mourir délibérée. Ils disent, laissez-les mourir, ils sont toxicomanes. Une attitude amorale. On a empêché d'accès aux banques de l'aide, de tests de drogue. Cela cause injure, un préjudice délibéré. Ils disent qu'ils soient infectés. Ils sont toxicomanes. Une attitude amorale. On a interdit l'accès aux soins stériles. C'est un crime contre l'humanité. C'est un crime contre l'humanité.
Apalagi banyak juga yang aku dengar di lapangan, teman-teman digerebek, main di gerebek itu aja tanpa misalnya ditanya dulu atau apa gitu, ini main di Yuti aja, hak kita mana? Dengan keadaan kayak sekarang, ini gue kayak teman-teman gue kayak dibunuh pelan-pelan nih, kayak disuruh mati pelan-pelan nih. Drugsnya nggak ada, akses layanannya susah. Ini IO-nya pada keluar, pas dimasuk ke rumah sakit, nggak ada BPJS, nggak ada apa segala macam, nggak diapa-apain juga. Mati satu, sehari 10, 20, oh habis. Berarti program yang pemerintah sekarang jalankan berhasil. Nggak seperti itu kalau aku melihatnya, jadi kayak dibunuh pelan-pelan kitanya.
It's very clear to me that the criminalisation and the marginalisation that occurs when you criminalise and stigmatise an entire population of people, the damage that does on a grassroots level to an individual is enormous. It is lifelong, it is life-changing, it affects not just yourself, but all those around you, all those who love and care for you. The burden, the internal burden you carry from being stigmatised on a very obvious but also a not so obvious level. You carry that deep in your soul and it's painful, and it's got to stop because it's so unnecessary and it's just so damaging. We're wondering why we have all these problems in inner cities and in rural areas where people are taking drugs, and you see sort of systems or communities falling apart. Well, I can tell you why right now, and that's because of the way we deal with drug use and the way we push drug users and those who love them and care about them to the margins, seen, not heard, anything but, in front of me. And that's a very isolating, demoralising place to be.
I'm a drug user and an activist at the same time. In my country, a lot of people lose their chances of living happy lives among their family members, friends, communities, just because they use drugs. They send us to jail. They force us to sell our houses to buy our freedom. We're not safe at home, in the streets, in clubs. We're not safe while using drugs because we don't have any control about what we use. I'm a mother of a 9-year-old child, and I want to raise him up in fairer and safer society. Please help us. Admit that your policies don't work and stop controlling our lives.
Люди перед этим очень часто пытаются самой бороться с смертью, потому что государство считает их криминалом, и можно попасть в тюрьму очень долгое время. Это часто кончается летально, и люди просто умирают.
In my country, government has no idea how many people dies annually because of an overdose.
My life has been negatively affected in so many ways by bad drug policy, and in particular, by the intersection of the drug war and the criminalization of sex work. One thing I'll always wonder is why my ex-girlfriend had to die of an entirely preventable heroin overdose in 2010, when if she'd just been able to inject in a safe consumption site, she could have been revived with Narcan immediately.
You've heard our stories. Too many people suffered because of this. Government has to change its approach to drug users. They have to fight against punitive drug policy instead of literally killing our own citizens.
Jokowi menyatakan bahwa hukuman mati dianggap perlu sebagai sebuah senjata untuk menekan angka penggunaan narkoba dan juga untuk melindungi generasi muda dari situasi darurat narkoba tersebut. Pada tahun 2015, Indonesia mengeksekusi 14 orang yang didakwa sebagai pengedar, di mana hal ini memicu reaksi masif dari dunia internasional.
We ask the member states to end punitive drug control approach and put people and community first.
As a direct result of the inhumane drug policies and laws, many of my friends and loved ones live with chronic conditions such as HIV and hepatitis C. Many more of my loved ones and friends are serving lengthy prison sentences as a direct result of these unfair laws. We ask you to please consider the impact that you have on the safety and health of our communities, and we ask that you end the drug war.
Ada sekitar 450 fasilitas yang menyediakan rehabilitasi di Indonesia. Kualitas dan metodologi yang digunakan oleh mereka sangat bervariasi. Namun pada umumnya, mereka berbasiskan abstinen dan klien harus mengikuti program rehabilitasi dalam kurun waktu 6 bulan sampai 1 tahun. Banyak tempat rehabilitasi yang diisukan melakukan korupsi dan pelanggaran hak asasi manusia seperti pemukulan, kerja paksa, dan juga dikurung, isolasi dan dirantai kakinya. Metode yang digunakan oleh pihak berwenang untuk mencapai target yang ditetapkan Jokowi mulai dipertanyakan efektivitasnya.
Tetap bilang kalau sebanyak-banyaknya pusat perawatan itu baik, tapi akan lebih baik kalau kami bisa mengakses itu secara sukarela, bukan dipaksa oleh siapa-siapa. Kalau kita dipaksa untuk mengakses layanan yang sebenarnya tidak kami butuhkan, di situ kami melihat ada pelanggaran hak asasi manusia.
We need to talk about harm reduction, how we can educate our community and teach them ways to stay safe while consuming drugs. We're not promoting drugs, but we just need to educate our community to keep people from dying. I've lost family members due to lack of education. I've lost friends due to lack of education. They would still be here today because they were not educated on the drugs they were taking. They did not have the proper resources to get education. We need to fill in those gaps. So let's educate and save lives.
We should be
aware that speaking up about decriminalization can be a solution, but also get people's voice on the actual needs, because this is a fight against poverty, for the right to use drugs, of course, but we have some racial, gender questions to rise up and get everybody together on these topics even more.
I'm a queer activist, and I happen to be a drug user as well. These two communities are probably one of the most marginalized ones in Georgia for the moment. A lot of drug users are deprived of the opportunity to enjoy and experience life. They are put into prison for an extensive period of time, and our state is actively fighting against drug usage in all the wrong ways possible. We need to step it up a little on local level and on international level as well. We need to bear the responsibility for the community and for the cause that we fight, and we need to empower each other all the way through.
და გთხოვოთ, რომ ყველა მერთად შევძლოთ დავამთავროთ რეპრესიული ნარკოპოლიტიკა, როგორც საქართველოში, ისე იმ ქვეყნებში, სადაც ეს წნეხი არსებობს. სამწუხაროდ ამ პოლიტიკამ არაფერი არ მოგვიტანა დასჯის გარდა, რეპრესიების გარდა, გარდა იმისა, რომ დავკარგეთ ჩვენი ჯანმრთელობა, დავკარგეთ ქონებები, რამაც გამოიწვია, რომ კიდევ უფრო მეტი გაღატაკებული ადამიანი და დეპრესირებული ადამიანი ყავს ქვეყანაში. ამავე დროს შეიწირა უამრავი სიცოცხლე ჩვენი მეგობრების და რეალურად არაჩანს არანაირი გამოსავალი. ჩვენ არ გვაქვს არჩევნის საშუალება, ჩვენ არაფერს არ ვთავაზობს ხელისუფლება, გარდა იმ დასჯისა, რომელიც სამწუხაროდ ისევ მიდის. იმედ ვიტოვებთ, რომ ეს შეხვედრა დიდ ზეგავლენას მოახდენს და იქნება ცვლილებები.
I see, like for example, I was at the CND last year for the first time in 10 years. I went there once 10 years ago, and I saw a huge amount of change. And what I saw was people who use drugs having conversations with politicians, quietly, officials, having coffee, having discussions, that, you know, one-on-one, just behind the scenes relationship building is transformational. And I think it's been transformational for individuals at the CND, for government officials all around the world, when they actually think, why are we criminalising these people? You know, I mean, they start to pull apart their ideas around people who use drugs, and just that, and that's what our community does every day on all sorts of levels. I mean, you see them here doing something very you know, very engaged, very political, but when we have our coffee break, we'll be having discussions with people who've never met someone who injects drugs. And, you know, they have, I hear people that I've had a conversation with, and 15 years later I'll bump into them at a conference or something, and they'll remember that moment, their little light bulb moment, you know, when they realised that something is very wrong here, and having an engagement with the drug using community is so clearly the way forward when tackling the range of complex issues that we have in this world today. Make that effort, have that conversation, get to know our community, because I can't tell you, and if I do I'm going to start getting upset, the amount of incredible people in our community, and CND brings you a chance to get to meet those people. So take it and have a chat with someone this coffee break.
It is hard to talk about in 1 minute how many ways drug policy has affected my life. But the truth is, drug policy has affected my life in every way. Being a drug user, it is difficult to escape the horrors and the difficulties of drug policy. I have never met anyone who suffers or uses drugs or suffers from substance use issues that has a healthy sense of self. Our treatment mechanisms are broken. Our policies don't make any sense, are punitive and disruptive. We disconnect people from society, from their families, from their friends and their jobs, until there's nothing left. People with mental illness are not treated. The two things we do for people struggling with substance misuse are send them to detox and send them to jail. Both of them make you 12 times more likely to die. We refuse to treat people with hepatitis C who are using drugs, which is a human rights violation. We're violating the human rights of people every day. My own child died in a treatment center because they didn't have naloxone on site and available. Please, you are the world leaders. You have the ability to make change. Please shine a light on how broken the United States drug policy is. We need your help.
Человека, употребляющего наркотики.
Я за мир вместо войны с наркотиками.
Я против стигмы дискриминации. Мир вместо войны с наркотиками.
Я не хочу страдать за употребление. Мир вместо войны.
Я за мир против войны с наркотиками.
Я за мир вместо войны с наркотиками.
Я за мир вместо войны с наркотиками.
Мы, люди, употребляющие наркотики, хотим сказать вам, какого огромного числа людей касается наркополитика. Это список моих друзей, которых нет в живых. В этом списке моих личных друзей. В этом списке более 120 человек. Война с наркотиками уносит огромное число людей. И мы, люди, употребляющие наркотики, просим мировых лидеров принять взвешенное и гуманное решение для того, чтобы остановить войну с людьми и войну с наркотиками. Спасибо.
To achieve social justice, we must end the war on drugs. That means legalize people who use drugs.
Dekriminalisasi, bagaimana saintis ataupun akademisi yang seharusnya lead dalam hal ini, bukan lagi law enforcement, bagaimana lebih mengutamakan pendekatan kesehatan terhadap isu drugs dan responnya di Indonesia.
Jadi kami berusaha untuk merebut itu kembali dan berusaha untuk membuat negara memahami kalau kami adalah bagian dari warga negara yang juga punya hak asasi yang wajib dihargai, dipenuhi dan dilindungi oleh negara.